I'm in. Thank you. I'm gonna lose that phone. Thank you.
Well, you want a blanket or anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks. Yeah. Glad I lost a pound or two over the last year. I'd be fucked. Oh, good.
Hey guys, Connor, Dave. Oop, nice to meet you, man, Dave. I know, yeah, well, that's right. I'll probably met you around here.
Good morning. Connor, how do you pronounce your last name? Cassis. Good, I'm Walter Freihofer. Good morning.
You guys had a good year.
We did. We were supposed to come during the All right, let's go. Whoa.
You guys were a good team.
Hey guys, we're running a little behind, so we're going to give you 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'm going to give the 2-minute announcement. Let me know just tell me when you feel you're warmed up.
Good morning. We're live here from Indianapolis at Woodstock Country Club. Brad Cooper here and Zach Held welcoming everybody to this year's tournament. We've got a really deep field. Feature match that we're going to telecast is Dave Held, Ludo Aaron with Vukovic, Tijafanovic, and Connor Casas. Zach, you got any insight on these players?
No, I just want to say welcome. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. The Indy tournament's been a long labor of love, getting everything organized and set up, and excited to have go time here.
Yeah, thank you to our platinum, gold, and bronze sponsors. Special thanks go out to Devin Anderson, who's put a lot of time in the organization. Brian Hagman here at this club at Woodstock. Ludo Aaron, the pro from Meridian Hills, has helped quite a bit. Special thanks to Southern Glacier for the Bullet Bourbon that we'll be tasting about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So going to try to stay out of that until these first couple matches.
And best of luck with that, Coop. I don't see that happening, but
well, got into the keg beer pretty heavy at Meridian Hills yesterday and capped it off with a little tequila at home, and I was a little bit hungover this morning.
well, you recover well, Coop. You look great.
Thank you.
I'm excited to be sitting next to you for at least an hour, and then I'll get out there and maybe be on the other side of the camera for a little bit.
Oh, Ludo wanted to make sure I said hello to his sisters, Claudia and Rebecca, in the UK. I think his mom and dad are going to be watching this live. I've met them a couple times when they come over here from across the pond, and it's probably, 2 in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the UK?
That sounds about right. There's another shout-out, I think, to Vuk's father. Apparently, he's in Serbia and is an avid watcher of the live stream.
Okay.
So it's a possibility we have a very
international audience.
Right, very
yeah, that's exciting. We probably have maybe at least 15 people watching us at this point.
I'd say 15, maybe 20.
15 max.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's good for our day. Good for our debut.
Well, yeah, Koopy, you want me to give a little breakdown on the match here? What we're
I'd
about
like
to
that.
see?
Yeah.
All right, I'll get into it.
Yeah,
well,
I'm more of a novice.
This may be the first time, John, you can correct me if this is wrong. First time in live stream history, a little brother commentating on Big Brother's match. There might be a Dave Broderick commenting on Drew, but I'm pretty sure Dave's older.
Unless you include Brad talking about Mark Fischel. I call Brad the big brother of Mark.
Oh, that's interesting. You know, what we're going to see today is we got Ludo Aaron and Dave Held, who I am very familiar with, as Ludo Aaron is the Meridian Hills Country Club head of rackets, which is the club I belong to. They're on the left side of the court right now. Dave Held is in his traditional burnt orange. I don't know if you can tell, Coop, but it's got a cigarette burn from when John Baxter put a cigarette out on it. And
that was nice of him. It was a cigar or a cigarette?
It was a cigarette. And,
okay.
and I want to say it was probably 9 years ago. and that jacket was at least 3 or 4 years old at the time.
And speaking
So
of bourbon earlier, John Baxter can get into some bourbon heavy.
he has a superpower.
He likes his brown.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ludo Aaron is in the blue jacket on our left. Again, head pro Meridian Hills Country Club. Very defensive oriented. Both guys played college tennis, have adapted to paddle. They've probably been playing for 15 years or so at this point. Both have tremendous racket skills, but like all things, Coop, age catches up after a while.
It does. He's 50 now.
Yeah, Dave's
He's never
51,
learned.
I think.
He's never learned to use spell check.
That's a fun fact. I didn't know that.
I think you do know that if you have ever read any of his emails.
I just
closely.
assumed that was the King's English that he was typing.
Okay, that may be it. Yeah, he's prone to a few mistakes.
So I think what you're going to see out of Dave and Ludo is just a very defensive-oriented match. They're going to put a lot of balls in play. As our friend who loves the Brown, John Baxter, would say, they're going to make them hate it.
I'm going to
A
be
lot of balls in
introducing
play.
the
Ludo
players
can
here
hit
in
his
a minute,
backhand a
and
little
I
bit.
will
Dave can hit his
announce the
forehand a
scores
little bit.
before every
But other than
match
that,
for
you're going to
every
see
game.
balls going real high.
Within the
High, early, and
violations,
often.
there are a few things I'll call immediately.
Dave's a tremendous
If we've
volleyer
got
at the
a
net,
player dispute,
so he's
those
going to
will be
try to
good
look to
faults,
finish points
will
at
be
the net
called
with
without
volleys,
warning.
and Ludo is going to look to
Touching
hit
the net,
every
reaching
single
over
ball
the net,
into the ad
clear
corner.
non-line
The
violations.
more
So
points
you
won
should, of course,
off
call
of
all
mistakes
those on
playing a
yourself
team
if you're aware
I
of
like
the infraction.
Ludo and Dave.
Yeah, you're going to see them
making
win
line
by the
calls.
other
I
team
will
making
only get
errors.
involved if
Or
there is a
you're going to see
dispute.
the other
If the
team just
player
winning a lot of
disputes
points.
an out
It's
call,
going to
look
go
up
one
to
way
me,
or the
and
other
I'm
there.
for confirmation.
On the other side of the court, I have played Vuk Tiafanich, who is in the black, several times. He came over from Serbia, played college tennis at Marquette. He's an elite ball striker. You're going to see some balls fired at Dave and Ludo. And
Fires forehands like Ryan Baxter.
more backhand.
More backhand.
He's going to crush some backhands at him. Dave knows this, so whether or not he adapts accordingly,
All right,
we'll
so
see.
I'd like to,
I
ladies
don't
and
know
gentlemen,
much about Cassis.
this is a round of 32 match, which is the best of 3 sets with tiebreakers. To my right, in the deuce court, is Connor Cassis and his partner in the ad court from Milwaukee, Vuk Theofanovich. To my left, in the deuce court from Indianapolis, Indiana, is Dave Held. And to my left, also from Indianapolis, Indiana, in the ad court is Ludovic Aaron.
Right now, although at the Woodstock Club, it blocks it pretty good, but you see Ludo squinting
Enjoy.
right now. I don't know if that's hangover or he just legitimately can't see.
I think he really was going to try to be good last night.
All right, there we go. Ludo with his first overhead into the ad corner. This is Ludo, Aaron, and Dave Held at the net. And like I said, you're going to see a lot of balls in play, and there's Vuk giving an early error away.
5-love. $30-love.
Now, Dave throwing in an early fault
30-15.
there. Fun fact, Dave Held can hit a tennis ball 130 miles an hour, but can manage maybe 25 miles an hour on his paddle serve.
What do you attribute that to?
Confidence, lack thereof. His toss gets a little squirrely on him, and he just has trouble finding the ball for some reason. Being tall isn't necessarily an
30,
advantage. There's Vuk with
30.
an early nick.
Well, you know his partner Ludo is a certified paddle pro, so perhaps he should maybe take a lesson.
I don't know that
A
Dave's
free
ever
lesson.
taken a lesson. There's an early foot fault by Dave. We'll see if Walter starts calling it on him. That seems to be a held tradition, the foot fault. There's Ludo going back to that ad nick. His preferred area of overhead. He gets spot drive by Connor there. But yeah, you're going to see some long points here. Unless
40,
Ludo just throws
30.
another one away. Ludo got him again over there. So they're going with a little offset eye here, Coop. I think they're a little worried about Vuk putting a hurt on that return. Well, Dave Held
Yeah,
40,
that's
does.
just
40.
Bad unforced error.
He likes that tomahawk. He's just late on it there. Not seeing the ball well this morning just yet.
Well, there's definitely glare on the court.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an issue on this side. Pretty good lob there. I think Dave on a Sunday morning would have called that out, but with an umpire on the court, he's not going to get away with it. Really tomahawk there by Dave. That's where he's looking for his offense. Ludo's going to be looking to hit some backhands here. He'll be able to see it a little better on that side. He won't be able to see his forehand at all. Oh, I think he missed it wide. So that's the game plan right there for Dave and Ludo. There's going to be a lot of that. Just waiting for those guys to throw in some errors.
Game.
Wow, Vuk just throwing another one away.
Okay, good hold.
Set score is
That's a good sign
0-1.
for the local team. I think Vuk's off to a little slow start, but he will heat up at some point.
Was he number one at Marquette?
I'm good. It's good.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. I know he was a heck of a doubles player.
I was impressed with in the 90s yesterday, that Schneider kid.
15, love.
Was it Robbie?
Ronnie.
Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie. NCAA finalist, actually, at North Carolina.
Yeah, won state 3 years. Was it Bloomington South?
Was. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, he just really started playing paddle, and he's pretty darn good.
Yeah, we might see him later in the day. We'll see how the schedule works out, but he can hit a forehand. So you're going to see some action on Vuk's overhead. It's going to be, he's going to push the tempo a little bit against these guys. We'll see how Dave and Ludo respond if they can absorb the sauce he's going to be putting on the ball. I think he's having trouble seeing that one. But there's going to be a lot of balls into Ludo's corner. We'll see how he holds up. First match of the day, so.
Does Ludo drive it much with his backhand or just all lobs?
No, he'll hit it. He can hit his backhand.
30,
His forehand
love.
is where he won't hit it much.
Doesn't use it as a weapon.
No, just doesn't have quite the pop to win a lot of points with it. But he can win some points on his backhand side. Seen a lot of balls in the middle from Cassis. I think he's not real confident about putting much pressure on them back there. He's going to look to just keep resetting points and probably eventually switch with Vuk to get him more in the power position.
Yeah, Ludo and Dave want these long points.
Yeah,
don't
they're happy for Cassis to hit these overheads. The only one I think they're really afraid of is Vuk starting to light the ball up like he's trying to do there. Vuk is tremendous volleyer, great hands at the net. Cassis throwing one away
30,
there. Maybe
15.
getting a little optimistic on the coverage.
This would be a good early break.
Yeah, I think at this stage in the match, they're just kind of feeling each other out, seeing what each team can do. Where people like the ball, where they don't. Vuk with a good roller in that corner, that's going to be a problem for Ludo. If he keeps exposing that nick, he's going to have a hard time chasing all those down. Dave likes that high forehand, so that's going to be a spot that Cassis and Vuk need to be careful with because Dave will win those points. Now that's trouble. Oof, good recovery by Dave.
30,
Yeah,
30.
Not entirely sure what we were looking at there, Coop.
That was
I don't know if that was a drop shot or.
low percentage.
I can tell you that's exactly how Ludo and Dave want the match to go. Is, swings like that. So they're gonna keep picking on Cassis here and see if they can find a weak spot. But Vuk's gonna start dominating the court, is my guess. got the back of the line. That's a good lob. That is what Ludo does well. He can lob.
The lob's your friend, he says.
That's a good waterfall. That's,
30,
for Dave and
40.
Ludo, that's how a lot of these points are going to have to be won. They don't want to get in a hitting match with Vuk. That's going to be a recipe for disaster. So you're going to see a lot of balls. They try to keep out of his strike zone.
Have they played Vuk before?
No, but fortunately for Dave, his little brother has. So he had a pretty good scouting report going out there. And whether he listens, that's
right.
You can lead a horse to water, sort of thing. That's a drive. I mean, that's the drive he wants to hit. It's just he's got to hit it. He didn't look committed on that one. Ludo giving away a quick lob error there.
Add out.
What was that in? Wow, lucky let cord there for Dave Held. That is a
2 games
breath
to
of
0.
fresh air for Ludo and Dave, because that looked like it could have been a really long game. And getting a cheap one like that feels good when you're on the right side of it.
That's a nice break.
For Vuk and Cassis, I think it's just a matter of them, getting a little more warmed up, getting a little bit more in this match. They're
not in a rhythm yet.
No, they don't look like they know what they want to do quite yet, and Dave and Ludo are capitalizing on it.
15 love.
Well, we've seen a lot of the better teams in the country. When you watch them streaming, they figure out a way to come back in these matches.
Oh yeah. Well, and like I said, you haven't seen Vuk heat up just yet. But if Cassis is gonna miss over
30
like that,
love.
it's gonna be hard for Vuk to really get into the match. He's really got to steady up. He's got to be the kind of the rock for the team and let Vuk open it up a little bit more. But now Dave and Ludo get ahead, stay ahead kind of formula, and they're feeling pretty good right now. You can see their arms starting to loosen up. The ball's going to start coming off with a little more pop as they try and increase this lead.
Nice little cutter.
Not bad.
Yeah, playing it into the sun there.
Dave going for a nick there, going maybe a little baby cutter. Got him moving.
40
Wow. Get him
love.
moving a little bit. See what happens. He did a good job with that. He can turn that over and he can spin it back a little more, but this stage in the match, I think he's just trying to make him move. Just get it in play, see what the guy can do. And I think they're overall pretty happy with the result.
Impressive start.
Ludo going for a nick, and that,
Game.
and in my opinion, that is how they're going to win this match with overheads like that.
0-3.
Taking it to Cassis's corner, staying away from what Vuk does well. That was a really savvy play by Ludo. He got a good result. A little scoring update on Court 1. We have Mike Marino and Rob Steinman playing Kilmer and Friday, and they're up 4-0 in the first set. I expect them to handle that match pretty well. That's a heck of a team. That's an elite team in the country. I think we might be seeing them later on in the day on some of the live stream.
Well, that's when I'm likely to be napping.
Yeah, of course.
Cooper. You see me in Hangover?
One of your best.
15 love.
All right, Cassis off to a decent start here on his serve. Looks like he's not really trying to do much. He's just trying to put it in.
30 love.
There's a little debate on whether that ball was in or not. I think they ended up giving it to Cassis and Vuk there. But Dave and Ludo need to be careful here. They had some good momentum going. They don't want to give away a cheap game real quick. See Vuk starting to dominate the overheads. He's gonna
Showing a little more patience.
Yeah, that's
40 love.
that's a pretty quality point for Vuk and Cassis. That they're going to want to do a bit more of that. I think Ludo and Dave are going to want to try and keep him from starting to get going here. A little miscue on that overhead.
The sun's definitely getting more prevalent.
Yeah, it seems like it's brightening up.
Game.
Yeah, for the next hour or two,
Saurus
it's
the
going to be,
Alphabet.
Brutal.
it's going to be tough for these guys until it gets a little higher.
All right, they need a hold here.
3-1.
Yeah, the first little blemish on the record for Dave and Ludo, and Dave held serving, throws in a little fault there. He got a little alligator arm, which is what we'd call that.
He does like to put likes to step in a little, doesn't he?
Yeah, he gets a little extra on that step. We'll be interested to see if the umpire.
You know, the old
says
Teddy
something.
Dunn.
Where did Ted Dunn end up when he was actually serving this? Coop?
Usually got almost all the way up to the net.
About to the net.
That's
when
what I've heard.
Finally let it go. Well, if they're giving you the advantage, they're going to take it.
They didn't call it the Dunn court for no reason.
Good lob there by Dave Held. That's what he's going to want to do. He's going to want to push Vuk over to that deuce corner as much as possible on these lobs. Now, Ludo Aaron has a tendency to not push his lob down the line, which is where he really needs to get Vuk moving. He needs to pick on that deuce corner with that lob, get him moving that way, and it doesn't allow Vuk to put as much spin
he's
on
standing
the ball.
there pretty stationary.
Well, and you see how he keeps putting him in the middle of the court. There he goes. That's the lob. That's the one that they can, and they won the point.
Move him around.
Stunning. They won the
15.
point on the
Shocking.
proper lob.
15.
But yeah, a lot of this game is a chess match. I mean, this is a lot of these guys are pretty similar ability-wise. It's who can outthink their opponent, who can outsteady him, who can out-tough them. That's who's gonna win.
30-15.
That's a good ball there. They're gonna win some points on that. A smart decision by Dave. He's not
Staying
forcing
back.
his way in. Yeah, he can volley, so he can handle it, but he's trying not to give Vuk any cheap points because it's the
30,
longer points are going
30.
to favor Held and Aaron here.
Well, a scouting report from you certainly is paying off.
That's what little brothers are for.
Got the patriarch of the family here too.
Your
dad's,
Dave Held Senior.
Your dad's wandering around.
Fun fact: there's actually 4 Dave Helds. I don't know if you knew that. Or 3. Trace. Excuse me. Maybe someday there's 4.
Okay, who is there? Like a little toddler?
Well, no, there's a Trace. He's the
Okay.
third. He's the third. Maybe he's watching from Italy. I don't know. He's over there studying abroad. Dave's boy.
Of course he is.
Yep. Sorry, I was getting my middle brother confused, who also has an Andrew Held Jr.
Yes. Yeah,
the
that
kind
was
of
long.
Deuce.
kind of point Dave and Ludo want to play, and that's the kind of point they're going to win. Coop, can you tell us a little bit about February in Indianapolis? Seems uncharacteristically warm today.
Well, you know, people probably want to attribute that to global warming. Don't know if that's a hoax or not, but yes, it is pretty mild temperatures here for February.
Well, I think we're going to see, you know, maybe upwards in the 40s today.
Add out.
That's about perfect for paddle weather.
Big point here in the match. I mean, this could swing the set one way or another. You get a long game like this, you know, it can have a little hangover effect on you. So 3-2 can turn into 3-all real fast, or 4-1 can turn into 6-1 real fast. So this is an important game. That's a good shot. Good ball by Dave Held. Got him off the net, got the ball down. That's how you're looking to win points out here. You can see how Dave Held is he's just looking to put the ball in play, and
There's that backhand you talked about. He
that,
can rip it.
That's going to be a real problem if they keep feeding him that ball, because he can do that all day and at a high level.
Deuce.
So he gives it right back. Takes one and gives it right back. He's going to want that lob back. I promise you that. Interestingly, Dave's staying back on Cassis' return. I'm not sure I'm
Yeah, it doesn't
seeing
seem
him
like
really
he has a
hurting
weapon.
him. No, I don't think he's going to really hurt him. So I think Dave could comfortably get in behind that. On Vuk's side, I would say he probably should still stay back. That's Dave just testing Cassis over there on that side screen. It's one of his favorite little tricks. It's kind of the that's a good volley there by
Very
Ludo.
good.
Advantage.
Caught
and
Vuk going
in.
behind him. You know, at this level, when you have a guy who can move forward and volley as well as Vuk, you tend to want to go behind those guys more. You don't want to lead him, because if you get the ball in front of him, he's gonna hurt you with it. So Ludo did a great job. Accidental or intentional, I'm going to assume that he didn't necessarily mean to backdoor
To move him.
I guess we'll say. That's a good up down there. Good shot by Dave Held. That
4
was a
games
big
to
game
1.
for them to secure. Vuk had him on the ropes there a little bit. He threw in that loose lob and just cost him the momentum of the game, and now potentially cost him the set. They got quite a hole to dig out of now.
They won't tank it, will they?
No, not in paddle. Everything's on such a fine margin that you can rattle off 2-3 games pretty quick. So it's pretty rare to see a team just throw a set, particularly young guys like this. It can get pretty annoying. They tend to never give up.
Don't need to save their energy like a 50-year-old like
Ludo and Dave, maybe if they were down 5-1, might just get the game over with to move on to the next set, just to save some energy for the day. It's going to be a long day for these teams out here. Be even longer for the team that ends up losing this
15
match.
left.
That's
30
a good little
love.
drop shot by Cassis. He's starting to show some ability to finish some points, and they're going to need that. Because Dave and Ludo are just going to keep with the strategy, keep putting balls in play, try to avoid the big weapons on Vuk. Like that slash by Cassis.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's a good overhead. He needs to keep leaning into that, because he got Dave a little off balance there, and that's how you get a short lob, and short lobs get you balls you can finish. Interestingly, they're not switching sides. I would have expected Vuk and Cassis to maybe put Vuk in what we call the power position, which would mean the ad court there.
30-15.
Tough spot for Cassis to defend there. I don't know if he couldn't see that ball coming very well. Didn't look like he
Yeah,
had
I
a good.
think the sun was right in his eyes.
Didn't look like he had a good read on that. A good long point here. You're seeing some some steadiness from the youngsters.
Yeah,
On
Ludo needs to move those lobs around a little bit.
yeah, he's got he's got to directionally lob better. These guys, I'm gonna put the fitness on this side of the court here on the left side on the
40,
Cassis
15.
Tiafonich side. So, Ludo and Dave they can play long points, but they're certainly gonna have to find ways to move the point forward. They can't just do nothing. They got
Yeah, these 3 or 4 minute rallies don't serve them well.
40, 30.
Maybe another Sun error there. These guys have played at the Woodstock Club quite a bit. They know where the sun's coming in. They know where the spots are with that. So, I would say Dave and Ludo are using the environment to their advantage, Sun Tzu style.
Home court advantage.
Game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't like that error out of Dave. I think he's got to be a little smarter than that. And another fault following it up. That's kind of like we talked about.
Yep.
Should they give up the set or
That's
should
right.
they keep it rolling?
Things can turn on a dime.
They can put this back to 3-4 on serve and in a couple minutes, and all of a sudden the match looks a lot different. There's another winner by Vuk,
Love 30.
and that's where he's just talented. He's intentionally hitting that nick, and he can do it
Love
frequently.
40.
Ludo's got to block that ball off. He's got to defend his corner.
Where does he play out of Chicago?
Yeah, he plays in the Chicago leagues. He's from Milwaukee, though. He lives in Milwaukee, but I'm no geographist, but it's about a 45-minute drive for him, I think, to get down to some of those North Shore areas. And there's Vuk putting a hurt on him, and that's what they got to stay away from.
That's pivotal right there.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see Vuk
assert himself.
Yeah, I mean, if he was in third gear to start this match, I think he's
3.
hit fourth gear now, and you may see
I'm
one
sorry, I
more
didn't
out
see.
of
I
him here in a bit
apologize.
as he
3, 4.
keeps firing the engine up.
So he has a
3,
fifth
4,
gear?
sorry.
He does. I've seen it. It's a heck of a thing. Yeah, I think he's going to look to assert himself a little more, take over this match. This is a real danger zone for the home team. Cass is positioned well in that volley. He's going to make that 10 times out of 10. Ludo's got to be smarter. He's got to push that lob down the line, or they're going to lose that point every time.
5-0.
Do you think Ludo will be smarter? Good prediction on that?
I do.
Okay.
I think he's good at adjusting.
All right.
Don't want to say anything too derogatory with Claudia and Rebecca listening to the live streaming.
I will say you're more optimistic than I am. So
30.
that's a good overhead by
love.
Cassis when he's pushing that slash deep. Love to give a shout out to APTA and all our help there. They've been tremendous. They sent out an email, obviously, to encourage some participation on this live stream, and just want to give them a big thanks.
Yeah,
from
the
Indianapolis
audio
crew.
visual team here from ENET doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, they've been first rate all around, and John Scott and his team are doing an excellent job. So just want to make sure they're getting their proper thanks. Vuk with an excellent drop shot
40.
there. He's got
Love.
for a guy that hits the ball like he does, he brings some very soft hands, and he can turn balls over like that. Dave and Ludo they have to look to get back.
Game.
And Ludo
4
puts one
game
in the fence there.
each.
Errors like that are going to be trouble for Dave and Ludo here. They need to slow these points down a bit. They need to keep spotting balls in better locations and not there. That's trouble.
Yeah, looks like
Love
they need a conference
15.
Yeah. Maybe get Coach Brian Hagman of the head pro at the Woodstock clubs here. We may need to send him out and maybe help them right the ship.
What is the rule on coaching?
None that I'm aware of. In professional tennis, they're allowed to coach tennis too. And I'd say, the sport parallels professional tennis quite closely. with
It
rules.
looks like Ludo and Dave could use Brad Gilbert to get them going in the right direction.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think, at this point in the match, the momentum's clearly swung in favor of Vuk and Cassis. And, for Dave and Ludo to right the ship, they got to take the air out of the ball. They got to start running the four corners for a minute, Brad. Make them defend. That's a basketball reference. You're going to hear a lot of basketball references on this live stream today.
I've seen them go despondent.
Yeah, they have that gear. And I think you're just seeing too many errors out of Ludo here. He needs to steady up.
He seems to be rushing.
Yeah. I think he's starting to feel the moment a little bit. That things are swinging. He's feeling the momentum the other way. He's starting to press a little bit, and that spells death in paddle. You can't press. You got to let it come to you. This sport's just too hard, and guys are too good for you to start doing things out of your comfort zone.
15.
That's a good
30.
point for Ludo and Dave. That's a ill-advised error by Cassis. He needs to recognize that Dave and Ludo are a little shaky and needs to capitalize on it by putting a lot of balls on their paddle. I'd say this is a must-win point, but we're starting to get to that point in the match where you only got a few points to give. I think an interesting phenomenon you'll see here, Coop, too, is as these sets get deeper and later in the set, you'll start to see these points lengthen out. Guys are less willing to take big risks, and they're definitely more focused on keeping the ball in play. So from here on out in this set, you're gonna see a lot of balls.
Vuk seems to be controlling the court.
Yeah, I mean it's as we thought in the beginning, the match is going to ebb and flow on his paddle, and if his partner stays steady enough, he utilizes his weapons well enough, they can win this match. If he's going to make loose errors like that, it's going to go Dave and Ludo's way.
Well, there was the critical point that you said they needed to have.
Yep.
And they got it.
Yep. I think that steadies the ship. Whether they can push it forward now is dependent here on how Dave and Ludo can keep the momentum. But yeah, you're gonna see the momentum swing back and forth a couple times before this set's over.
You hit.
Tried to get the nick there.
Yeah, he's adjusting well. He's learned his lesson from Vuk's backhand, and he's starting to pick on Cassis's corner, which is to me the right play. That's how you want to play these guys. You can win points that way.
Yeah, you can't.
And they got
40,
Vuk a little
30.
impatient by picking on the Cassis corner.
Right, and that really wasn't his backhand drive. That wasn't set up for him to hit that shot.
No, he rushed that. And but part of that comes when he feels like his partner's maybe struggling a little bit. He's trying to do too much to make up for it.
Trying to bail him out.
Yep, 100%. And yeah, that'll get you beat in paddle. I like that waterfall play a lot. He's keeping it out of Vuk's strike zone. He's not allowing him to get in a set position for a drive. And offensive players typically do not like being put on their heels like that. They don't like to defend. Good nick there by Dave Held. Yeah, didn't end up resulting in much, but that was a good overhead. They're going to win points with that overhead. Seems like Ludo's calmed down a bit too and steadied himself. I think they have a little bit more of a game plan going forward, where they're clearly picking on Cassis.
Yeah,
and
putting it in the corner.
Yeah, and if they get a short ball, they might try and slide one in behind Vuk. But they're that's the
Game.
play. I mean that's how the match is going to be.
That's a great hold.
Good overhead,
4
good spot by
games
Ludo.
to 5.
Okay, so we're on serve, 4-5 here. Big point here to set the tone for either team. You know, for Vuk and Cassis, they're looking to lengthen out this set for Dave Held and Ludo.
15 love.
This is a chance. You know, anytime you got a little scoring pressure on the other team, you can capitalize on it.
Tiebreaker be fun though.
My prediction is we're headed there, Coop. I don't know what you think, but I'm thinking this is going to a tiebreaker.
Get it. I got you. Get it.
Seeing a good long point here, Coop. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier. That you're going to see these points lengthen out as guys starting to pucker up a little bit, knowing the end is nigh.
Yeah, no one wants to make the unforced error.
And
Oh, that's a nice cutter
yeah,
there.
That's a gifted
That's
swing.
a weapon.
Oh yeah, he's going to win some points like that. That's how Dave wants to win a point. I
30
don't know if that's the
love.
one to swing at. Looks like it was a little out of his strike zone, but he's long and rangy. And I'd say a 30-year-old Dave Held would have made him one of them eat that ball. But 52 with knee surgery on the horizon maybe can't get up
That's
quite
right.
quite as easy. Did we thank our umpire, Walter Fry?
30,
We did not.
15.
Okay.
Thank Walter
we have
Freihopper.
some
We
wonderful
have-
umpire volunteers
chair
today.
umpire.
And appreciate their time and effort.
Got his readers on.
So big spot here, big opportunity for Held and Aaron if they can avoid any of the silly errors. They're going to be in good shape. But if they continue to lob short to Vuk, I mean, we've seen where he can really put some English on that ball, and they're going to lose a
Yeah,
lot
he
of points.
did.
with
He did
short
it right
balls.
there.
15.
And
Just what you said.
yeah, and Coop, it's all about the lob. You know, if you can't push them
40,
to the
15.
service line or beyond, you're
You
You're at
can't
the
set 'em
mercy.
up like that.
you're at the mercy of an elite hitter like Vuk. He's going to win those points. They got to be smarter with their lobs. They got to push them back. Look for some areas where they can sneak some drives in low. At this level, a drive at waist high isn't going to buy you much. You got to be able to push the team back.
Yeah, got to make them pedal back. to the
100%,
ball.
or you're just not doing much. You're just kind of spinning your wheels. Like, that was a good lob, good combination there. Dave's just kind of probing, making him defend the net, pushing him off the net.
Need to get those
There it
lobs a
is, right
little
there.
deeper.
That's the opportunity right there. Was that lob? But
40, 30.
that's without that lob, nothing happens for them back there. They can't move the point forward. That's a big point for Vuk and Cassis. If they want to get to that tiebreaker, they're going to need to seal the deal right here. If they let Dave and Ludo back in this game, I think again that scoring pressure is real. When the break point is set point, it feels a whole lot worse.
Game.
And Dave's got to get rid of those errors. That's
There we go. We're on serve.
all right. 5-all. I think we have a scoring update. Looks like Marino Steinman are moving on after their first round. This is a big game for Held and Aaron. They can't afford to lose this game, is what I'll say. It's a bigger game
Yeah.
for them than it is for Cassis and Vuk.
Because
Yes.
then they just might get rolled.
Little debate on the line call there.
Walter's inconspicuously quiet.
He's a thoughtful guy, pondering the universe.
30-15.
Okay, score update. We the 30-15 here on Ludo's serve. So I'm guessing they stood with the call and the ball was called out. I think the youngsters aren't too thrilled about that. By youngsters, I mean Cassis and
Yes, sir.
Tiafonovich.
Not the guys that are half a century old.
No. And I've noticed in paddle in general, guys that age tend to call the ball more by feel than necessarily visually.
40-15.
Oh, the old Steve Webster days?
Yeah, I think, shout out to Steve if he's watching down in Florida. He might be.
If in doubt, call it out.
Yeah. Well, you can always apologize. You can always change your call later. So, Ludo with a 40-15 lead here on his serve. This is boding well for Held and Aaron, but they again, I think this game means a heck of a lot more for them than it does for Vuk and Cassis. I think they can.
Okay, it's a good hold there.
It's a great hold. Now they got to deal with Aaron and Held. Got to deal with the sun on this side now, which again seemed to be a little bit more of a problem, I think, for the older guys than youngsters seem to have adapted. It's like Dave has shed the burnt orange John Baxter cigarette.
Thankfully.
All right, so our opportunity here for Held and Aaron. I think Cassis is shown to be the weaker server, but I think Ludo and Dave have been prone to errors on these service games. And
yeah, they need to show patience here.
And
I think he lost that in the sun.
Love.
Coop, I don't think the sun was a factor there. I think he just wasn't listening to you. You were trying to coach him, and he did the opposite. And another ill-advised drive. I mean, I think they're not confident in a game plan at the baseline.
Yeah.
The net, they seem to.
They're
have figured
begging
it
for
out.
a tiebreaker.
Yeah, they. I think we saw where this was probably headed, and Dave and Ludo are just kind of accelerating how quick we get there by not showing that patience you talked about, not pushing them behind the service line, looking for the spot drives. They're I won't say they're panicking, but it just seems like they're trying to force the issue too much.
Yeah, not the same team that was up 4-1.
It might be good enough to get it done, though. All right, another
There,
big.
you got to get that a little deeper, Ludo.
Yeah, he's going to lose points with those short lobs. It's just a matter of Luke finding a spot that he's going to win the point with. So there's Dave probing again. So he's trying to force Luke into the net, so then he can put a good lob back. Aggressive overhead by Luke. That's going to lead to some errors if he's not careful. He's trying to force that ball in a little too tight a window. See a good patient point here. You know, they're seeing a safe spot on Dave's backhand, and Ludo's really hasn't swung on any forehand. So that the middle of the court's very safe for these guys. So, you know, when Dave and Ludo are putting these good lobs up, you're seeing Vuk and Cassis with more controlled overheads down the middle, and then when they get the short one, that's when they start going at the corners, because they know that's where Dave and Ludo's weapons are.
I think you've really found your calling as an analyst. There's no doubt. I think you were born to be on a microphone.
I think a lot of people would say I'm born to talk a lot. And that's a good drive there by
40-30.
Dave. That's what he wants. He wants that high, flat ball. Big point here. Big point for Cassis and Vuk. If Dave and Ludo can show some patience and show some discipline, they can create an opportunity. But you know, at this point, I haven't seen the patience that's needed to get there. I think this point is going to be on again, like we talked about on Vuk's paddle at some point. He's gonna force some overheads that that Dave and Ludo are going to struggle with. And if Ludo keeps those lobs deep, they got a shot.
Yeah, great lob by Dave.
It was. Yeah, that's the ball they want right there. That was the opportunity, Coop. Now they need to capitalize on that. Now I think Ludo needs to recognize that a little better and look to put some pressure on the middle of the court there to swing. But as of now, he's kind of just standing back in the corner. They got the net.
Oh, that looked wide.
It's just a little glare over there. But yeah, you can see the difference in Dave and Ludo's strategy. They have a clear strategy at the net.
Deuce.
When they have the net, they know how they're going to try and win a point.
And they haven't had the net much.
No. But when they're at the baseline, you see it's kind of just a jumbled mess of half lobs and half swings. You know, they really got to find those better lobs and open up those better opportunities. Otherwise, Vuk's just gonna keep hammering them like that ball. That was a good little FYM ball. He almost caught Dave with. Yeah, you're seeing some excellent combos now out of Vuk, and that's what we talk about. They cannot defend that over time. They have to put pressure with the lobs, or Vuk will kill them. Another good lob. They got the net, Koopy. Here we go. So far, they've shown real discipline with this pattern, and it's working out in their favor. I'd expect them to finish off this point and get it back to deuce. They have a clear understanding of how they're winning points here. Now they're sliding one into Vuk. See, Vuk was moved over because he's trying to help his partner out. He's trying to cover some more court, but then it exposes his side of the court. And if they get a short enough ball, they can slide it behind them.
Nice roller from Dave.
Yeah, you can see a real concerted effort to keep the deuce side, and Vuk presses, and that's
Deuce.
That's the pattern that will win the match for Heldner.
Trying to cover for his
Now if they could figure out the baseline part, you really got something. But at this point, they're just not applying the right lobs and following it up with the right drives. And you can see Aaron's positioning is way back in the green. See how far back he is there? When he puts that good down the line lob up, he needs to push into the blue and look to hit it. Otherwise, they're not going to move the point forward, and as we've seen, Vuk's going to rip them apart eventually. He's just going to come up with the right combo at some point. So, like I said, this is what I'd call a losing pattern for Heldner. This is a winning pattern.
They're way on the.
Yeah, it's a winning pattern for Cassis and Vuk, and we've seen it the other way. When Heldner are at the net, they've found the winning pattern. And right now, Vuk and Cassis have the winning pattern at the net. So Dave and Ludo need to look to break that cycle. Now they're lobbing, but it seems
Not much is getting accomplished.
If you're lobbing just to lob, what are you doing? At this level, your lob's got to have some purpose, and you got to have some thought behind how you're going to follow it up. Now, that's a good short ball they got there. But again, it just seems like they're on their heels this whole point, and with really no clear strategy on how they're going to work their way out of it. There's the lob right there. That's the one. Coop, did you see the setup there? Now the problem was Ludo and Dave were so far back that they're not applying any pressure on the follow-up.
Moving in the court.
Dave maybe needs to look to chip that ball. They got to get in the blue to attack that, and they're doing the right lob, but now they're not following it up properly. That's a good lob there. It's getting Vuk moving.
Yeah, they both just staying in the green.
Yeah, you can win that way, but you need your opponent to miss. You're not going to win many points, and that. Dave's driving that from so far back that Vuk's such a good volleyer that he's never going to miss
Yeah, he's
that
got
volley.
all the time in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we call a check drive because he has no real intent to win the point. He's just driving.
Unless you're playing, against a hack like me. It's a long point.
Yeah, this is They're testing each other right now. A little bit of a test of wills. That's the right lob, and they got the point.
Hat out.
Shocking,
I mean,
but they did.
they did it right.
Critical set point here.
That's it. This is the opportunity they want. Now, can they replicate that down the line lob? Now, Ludo got a little lucky with that. Getting the line. Cassis wasn't sure if it was going in or not. So this is a little different setup. So they have Cassis in the power position. So now they want to keep. You see, that's dumb. They want to keep those. They want to keep those lobs going cross court on that one, and then Ludo needs to look to attack. That's the proper pattern on that side. Now, Dave saw an opportunity there. He just couldn't capitalize. He's going to want that one back. I guarantee you that. What is a big point here? Shoot, this can change a match. This can change a whole day. At this point.
Nice tomahawk from Dave earlier.
Oh yeah, that's what he's looking for. He can hit those, but but so far Cassis and Vuk haven't really been feeding him that ball. They've been pretty smart to keep it away from that. Well, as I say it, they feed it to him. Yeah, again, we're just not seeing good enough lobs. They've gotta put some pressure on these lobs. They're just
Add in
like that. They're gonna get beat over time. And again, losing pattern. They gotta figure out a winning pattern back there. Oh, that's a costly fault by Cassis. That was he's showing a little nerves there. He kind of rushed it, and boy, you really want to take your time on that serve and get in the box because they were having an easy time at the net. There's really no reason to rush that. And so far, Ludo has not really been putting a lot of pressure on his return. That's walking the pitcher, Coop.
Unless you're Otani. He can do it all.
I will mention, something that's fun about this. A lot of times in the live stream, you're getting the real top players in the country. To me, this is a real treat to get to watch. This is a first round match. This is a round of 32. These are guys that, that you see in your leagues and you see at your local level. You're seeing while they are good and high level players, you're seeing more, what I think the average paddle player would see in terms of strategy and how guys play. And I hope the viewers enjoy that too. Seeing
both these teams are capable to knock someone off, though, aren't they?
Oh, of course.
On a given day.
Yeah, they have the skill sets. I mean, you got 3 ex-college tennis players, Division I college tennis players, with Ludo Aaron graduating from Butler and Dave Held at Indiana University and Vuk at Marquette. They have elite racket skills. Even at times, if it doesn't look like they're doing much with their paddle or their swings, but they are gifted.
When's Rajiv Ram going to come out and play some paddle? Is he ever going to retire?
I'd love to see Raj come out.
Is he ever going to retire from playing doubles tennis?
The Tom Brady of tennis. He'll stay out there as long as he can. He loves it. I don't see him retiring anytime soon. He loves the game too much. But boy, he'd be a heck of a paddle player. I think in the same ilk as a Jared Palmer out there. The hands of an angel. Well, I was hoping to get through this first set with you, Coop, but I might have to leave you after this game. I got a 10 o'clock match I got to get to. I'm having a lot of fun here, though.
Well, the fans are going to miss your insight.
Well, we'll bring in the head rackets professional from the Woodstock Club, Brian Hagman, who just recently moved into the top 12 in the country. He won't tell you that, so I got to feed it in.
Yeah,
he's too humble.
That's heady stuff.
If I was top 12 in the country, I'd tell you.
He's a good-looking guy.
Great-looking guy.
I'd say he probably spends a lot more on grooming than most men. Pretty fastidious, I'd say.
That was a heck of a point we got here, Coop. I mean, they are just going back and forth.
I'm talking about hair gel.
Well, we got to pass the time because they're not moving the point. We're at a standstill here, Coop. We might want to put a clock on this one.
Yeah, like you said,
Add
not
in.
moving the point forward.
No, they're just not progressing it, and they're giving Vuk opportunities, and he will win it eventually. You got to do something. Again, I think it should be that down the line lob, forcing some pressure there. And when they have this setup, they have Cassis in the ad, and again, they got to be ready to hit some of these balls now because they have Cassis off the net. And so far, I think, he has not demonstrated his ability to defend volleys from the service line. Vuk can. When Vuk's in the power position, he can. But they want Cassis at the service line defending drives. And, they need to be much more aggressive when they have this setup. Because, Vuk's coming over and helping, but Ludo's got to force some balls into Cassis when he's in the power position. And now they're in the bad.
Yeah,
now they're in the spin cycle.
Got him on the ropes.
Yeah, this is going to be a long, slow bleed out by I think Ludo and Dave on this point because thus far you're just not seeing the right spot on the lob. That's a great lob by Dave. That's a ball, and
he missed it.
Game.
Tie break.
All right, we got a tiebreaker. All right, as
Tiebreaker.
much as I'd stay with you, I'd love being with you. I got to get out there. I got to play. So I'd love to welcome in Brian Hagman for the rest of the way here. Enjoy. Coop, enjoyed being with you, buddy. I'll see you later in the day.
Well, Coop, what am I stepping
Love
into here?
one.
Well, you're stepping into a tiebreaker.
Okay. Is that at 6 all they play those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Who's the serve here? Vuk? Start us off.
First point goes into the deuce side.
That,
traditionally, does it?
No, he's thinking 10. No, but he started tennis. He's thinking tennis, I think.
Yeah, he served it to the wrong court. What's the rule there?
Not sure.
Never seen that before.
Let's see what happens here now.
Doesn't know how to play a tiebreaker. Maybe they've never been in one.
Oh, it's 1-1. It's 1-1. We missed
Okay,
the point. That's what happened.
Okay.
All right. So you were right. We were 1 point behind you.
Got caught in the mic transition.
He's got the speed. Get out of there. So Ludo looks to be playing pretty solid right now.
Well, unforced error there from Dave.
Yeah, he likes to
It's
do
unusual.
that. He kind of likes to poke like that, but in a tiebreak, when every point's important, you got to be really specific on those shots.
The sun looks like it's a factor on both sides.
I think in that ad side where Dave is right now, or where Ludo traditionally plays, I think it's pretty tough on that side. This time of
1-3.
day.
Oh, now
That's
they're
a toughie.
4-1.
And in a match like this, that's been so close, the winner of this first set, just, it's a breath of fresh air on a grinding set.
Aaron and Helb were up 4-1 in this set
Really.
earlier.
Well, that's paddle. What do they say? 52% average hold serve. So at any time you can fight your way back.
Casas and Vuk really seem to be controlling most of the points.
They do. Ever since I've sat down, maybe I'm bad luck. I don't know. But it seems to be they're controlling.
Yeah,
the
Ludo
pace
and
of
Dave
play
seem
right
to be
now.
on their heels a little bit more.
They got to play a smart point here. If they can bring it to 4-2, that would be huge. Both going to work here.
Ill advised.
5-1.
Seems like he's lost his patience here in this tiebreaker.
Looking a little disconsolate.
That's a
2-5.
That's a gift. All right, big serve here for Dave.
Three,
They got life
5.
here.
Six, 3.
So Coop, that score correct? 6-3. So we got a set point
I
here.
believe so.
I was distracted here in the hut and questions.
There we go. First set,
7-3,
Casas.
first
Vuk.
set.
That's a heck of a first set.
Dave. First time, guys. Doing my best. Doing my best. Sorry. You lose the point. You lose the point. Correct.
I think it's their serve. And
No, that's correct. And then I'll either overrule it.
No, Zach's chatty Cathy, and we're missing him.
Yeah, boy.
Coop, I'll see if I can step up my game here.
Well, no,
It's
you
cold
know,
up here.
silence is golden sometimes. Just watching a little paddle without a lot of chatter is quite enjoyable.
That's what you're going to want. I'm fine, but no, I'm good now. But it's warm up. It's melted.
All right, Coop, what are we thinking second set here? Anything need to change out of these teams, or
Well, I think Ludo and Dave are just back on their heels too much. Zach earlier was saying they're in the green too much, and really their lobs need to be deeper.
yeah, if you lob short, there's no way to press in, right? So if you can't get that lob, I call it close to the cliff, which is the service line. You know, if you're lobbing and that ball's inside that service line on the other side, you know, it's tough to press forward.
Yeah,
Look-
you're
look
not
to be
accomplishing
offensive.
anything.
No.
You're just making the points longer.
All right, here we go, second set.
Ludo predicted yesterday this would be a very tough match to win.
I saw this match.
Proved to be prophetic.
from a draw perspective, I saw it and I said this is going to be one of the better first round matches of the tournament.
Love 15.
Ludo doesn't tend to like being in the back draws. He seems to traditionally,
Play his best in the front draw.
yeah, and then, you know, the old tankaroonie.
Once he gets in that friendship draw, they call it.
Dave, get your fat body over there.
Well, luckily Woodstock
15,
has
15.
full stock in the fridge. Kegs are flowing, fire pits are going.
Yeah, and I'm
Food.
seeing, you know, that Octavio, the food and beverage director,
30,
got some iced down
15.
beers out there, and I may be cracking one pretty soon.
I mean, what time is it? 10:15?
Well, it's 4:15 in England, where Ludo's sisters are watching this right now, so that's close enough to 5 o'clock in my book.
40, 15.
Well, we do have a clock on the wall. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
That is 5 o'clock. Let me step out here and get a Mick Ultra, and I'll
40,
be right back.
30.
I'll hold your seat. Here, let me hold the microphone when you crack that thing.
Yeah, we put this on the Underhills, Bill. 3340 Meridian Hills. Don't charge my account, 20 of you viewers that are watching this.
Oh! Yeah, you would have lost if it would have gone all the way back.
Octavio remembers my
Dang.
number from the Meridian Hills days.
Mhm.
We miss him over there, but he's been a nice addition to Woodstock.
Yes, he has. And I want to thank the Woodstock food and beverage staff, everybody here at the club who's put on a good show so far. It's only just begun, but I know it's only going to get better as the tournament moves along.
Yeah, especially when the Bullet Bourbon comes out here about 3 o'clock.
Love
That is fact.
15.
They're going to be making special cocktails with it, do you know, Brian? Or are people just going to be doing shots?
I know there's going to be a tasting. I think shots are
15.
Optional?
Optional.
15.
Bear's sliding down a little better than I anticipated.
30, 15.
pretty chilly. Good temperature.
Yeah, it's iced down. Domestic beers are a must to be super chilly.
Mm-hmm.
30,
Yeah, it's
30.
Mick Ultra, so it's basically hydration anyway, right?
Right, it's water.
Yeah.
You know.
So this is important game. 30 all. Down 0-1 to the local team here. They really need to get this one.
Yeah, Dave tries the cutter there.
It's a tough one.
30, 40.
The airs are creeping in a little bit here. And Vuk and Cassis are playing far more relaxed now, you know, in this second set after getting that first one. You know, that first set just kind of sets the tone for the second set.
Casas was a little shaky in the first set, but he's playing better. Have you played against Vuk?
I don't think I have. You know, I've played
Deuce.
in tournaments with him that he was, in fact, in the draw, but have not played against him. I would like to. I'd like to share some memories. Me being a Wisconsin boy, he going to Marquette.
Packers fan, right?
Yeah,
Yep, you're going to lose your quarterback.
that it seems like it's a repeat of the Favre situation.
He's pretty mercurial.
He's an interesting. He might be in a dark room right now, I think.
Right, I've heard that.
Yeah. But I think the Packer organization, I think, has had enough. The last rumor I heard is they're planning on moving on.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
probably should have last year.
That's a fact.
And maybe the Jets will end up with Aaron Rodgers.
Just like Favre, right? Favre went from the Packers to the Jets, and then ended up in Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Yeah.
that's right. I forgot about the short stint in New York.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like they're kind of going back to working Cass's side. Luke getting more involved
Yeah,
here.
and Vuk's got a really good backhand.
Head out.
Any thoughts of expanding this paddle hut at some
Game.
point? Be a little bit wider, a little bit deeper?
We are, the Rackets committee is formally putting together a plan to potentially add a fourth court and
Maybe go
new hut.
higher. Maybe we
Yeah.
could build a
Create a bird's
rooftop. Yeah,
Yeah.
rooftop deck. You know, is this structure part of the historic landmark that Woodstock has the designation for?
This is not. This is not.
So we can't use foundation money to build a loft then.
Correct. It does have a ski lodge.
Love 15.
It really does. Very Aspen-esque too, with all the hills.
We're just missing the snow.
We haven't really seen snow this year, have we?
15
Maybe
all.
once.
Mm-hmm.
You're too young to remember the blizzard of 1978.
I was
when-
not born yet.
You weren't born yet. Blizzard of 1978. We got about 20 inches here in Indianapolis, and it shut down the city for 2 or 3 days. We don't handle the snow like Buffalo does.
$30-15.
The set's getting away from them.
It is. They're pressing a little bit. They're trying to fight their way back in. You know, I tell my students sometimes you just got to put down the shovel. You know, it's a lot of times when you get down early like this, it's self-inflicted. You know, and it seems to be kind of one of those things right now.
Start pressing.
They start pressing, and things can get away from you. You know, and
Yeah. Starting to play
40-15.
low percentage battle.
that shot clock, you know, happens, and can't do that. You got to put the shovel down and lengthen the points, get back into it, and
Ludo and Dave may be a team destined to win
Game.
a backdraw at this point.
it's looking that way at 3-love.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I know Ludo was looking forward to getting here in the booth.
0-3.
and commentating as well. It just maybe happening a little quicker. than
Yeah, I think
anticipated.
Zach was going to try to get him on the mic first thing this morning, and he was a little hesitant. Everybody wants to hear his English accent.
Mhm.
You know, he's lived here for 32 years. You would think he would have dropped a little bit of his Newcastle, England accent, but he really hasn't.
And it comes out a little more aggressively with a couple beverages.
Indeed.
Yeah.
He really pays homage to his
15
homeland.
love.
He does. Is that an England top he's wearing?
I don't know.
15 all.
Old school feeling, maybe?
Yeah, he had on the Sinise, but yeah, that may be old school Fila. Roger Federer used to rock a lot of Fila.
He was always well dressed. Better. Well, 3-0, 15 all.
Who are you sponsored by, Brian?
Who
Are
am I?
you on staff with Viking?
I am a Masters guy.
You're a Masters guy.
I'm a Masters guy. Shout out to Lisa Goldberg and all she does for me and the club.
We needed some Masters insignia out here for
There's
sponsorship.
as you walk down the steps, there are Masters signs galore.
Okay, very good. I missed them coming in. Still a
Were you
little,
sleeping this morning?
little bleary-eyed coming in for sure. We're not going to see any cloud cover today, are we?
Thought it was in the forecast, but it's not looking that way right now.
15-30.
It'll warm up the temperatures a little bit, though, for the spectators as they're starting to roll in. Looks like the deck is starting to fill up a little bit.
There are a few patrons, as they call them at Augusta National. And we're not far away.
No.
Not far away from the first major in golf.
You can have your cell phone on here, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, can't be taking pictures with your phones at Augusta.
You should have asked John and the internet guys to pipe in some bird chirping.
Oh, some bird chirping would be nice.
Some magnolias, maybe?
Oh, that would be very,
15-40.
very nice.
All right. 15-40. Dave held serving here.
$30-40.
Oop, decided to pinch, gave a little gift there. Are we getting the point, Coop, where it's a must hold here?
Deuce.
It's critical.
They've done what they need to do to get it back to deuce here.
Casas in shorts and a t-shirt, that's pretty bold when it's still about 30 degrees.
Yeah, both Casas and Bucher showing some skin.
Ludo and Dave haven't had many opportunities controlling the net today.
No.
Add out.
I mean, Casas and Bucher doing a nice job defending from the backcourt. You know, they're not giving them really anything, and they're really setting up their shots to pull the trigger when the time is right. You're not really forcing much. And that's what's working, right? I mean, that's why they're up 3-0 here in the second.
We got it.
Game. 4-0.
Well, if I was judging on body language, you could definitely see where this match is. If I was just
Yeah,
looking at body
I
language.
think, unfortunately, Ludo's destined to be on the mic and not on the paddle court.
Love, 15.
You might be a little grumpy. Maybe you can do to cheer him up.
Bloody Mary might steer him in the right direction.
15-15.
Your Wisconsin Badgers are on the fence for the NCAA tournament.
They are.
Would you say they're last in at this point? What do the prognosticators say for their NCAA championship?
I'd be willing to bet that they are not in yet. But I think they're going to make a run in the
30-15.
Big Ten tournament, which will propel them into the tournament, is my prediction.
IU, unfortunately, hasn't had a good history with the Big Ten tournament. But this might be the year.
My wife is a Boilermaker. So she's had a good season so far.
Well,
up until the last couple
they've
games.
lost. Who did they lose to? Nebraska,
They
IU,
just
or
lost to
Maryland? Did they
Maryland
just
at home.
lost
But
to Maryland?
Maryland's,
Maryland's good.
It's tough to win on the road in Big Ten.
It really is.
30.
IU found that out up in Chicago. down 23, came back and lost by 2 to Northwestern.
30, 40.
The Wildcats, they're having a heck of a season.
Yeah, you got to be happy for Chris Collins. He's a classy guy, and he's really hasn't been to the tournament that many times, and glad to see him going this year.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only takeaway with Purdue's loss, and maybe Dave and Ludo here, you know, a lot of times you learn more when you lose them in the end. So
I
hopefully
understand.
They can look at this and figure out what needs to be done next time they play.
Yeah, Purdue, they don't really know how to hang banners.
No.
Boy, that sun is brutal.
The ravine helps, but it's definitely tricky.
Need a big dome. Need a big dome over it.
Mm-hmm.
But that defeat the rooftop deck, wouldn't it?
That would be tough. You can put in the long range planning.
Unless it was, all glass.
Ludo and Dave here on the board, 1-4.
Okay. They're going to go down swinging.
There's a heartbeat.
4.
Here's our food and beverage director again, Octavio. Would it be possible to get another Mick Ultra? Fine, sir. Okay. Michelob Ultra number 2 for Koopy. He's not afraid.
I don't think Octavio knew what he was stepping into today.
Yeah, he didn't know it was a custom service for the color analyst. Oh, he's got one in the refrigerator. Well, shoot, I could have done that. Thank you. Thank you from Anheuser-Busch. Excuse me while I whip this out. Can't remember what movie that's from.
Ludo and Dave have the net here. They got to go back to that.
Yeah, they need to
first
control the points. Little cutter from Dave. Ludo's playing a little more aggressive. No.
Love 15. Love 30.
It's like maybe Blazing Saddles. Might have been Blazing Saddles.
15-30.
Tell you what, this commentating is a lot of work. I really do.
You're doing a great job.
Well, drinking beer, for sure. I'm the Jim Nance beer.
30-30.
You should have your blazer. Where's your blazer?
You know what? I have a green blazer that I could have worn, like a Masters type jacket.
Right.
But it's not April.
No. By the end of today, it might feel like April. We'll see. Temperature-wise, mid-40s, I think.
Perfect. If the pins are in, might walk 9 today.
30-40.
Got a pretty good crowd outside.
Game.
They are starting to roll in here early at Woodstock. 10:30.
5-1.
Michael Tygeson, a participant in the tournament?
He was.
Brian, does Greg Lord play paddle anymore? One of your fine members here.
He did early after in the season, had some surgeries. He's coming back from that. Hope to see him back on the court here at the end of the season here. Or he may be thinking about golf already, I don't know.
Love 15.
Gordo's a pretty good golfer.
All-around athlete. We got our first quarterfinalist sitting behind us. Marino Simon into the quarters
Well,
already.
Congratulations. 4-1. What were the scores on that? Do you know?
Love 30.
What was that second round? 0-1? 0-1
0-1.
against Tygeson.
Okay.
Love
And Devin
40.
Anderson. Mikey says very close 0-1. Could have gone either way.
Sounds like it.
I've heard that a lot.
Sounds like it should have been our featured match.
5-40.
This would be a nice break for Ludo and Dave.
Would be.
There's a glimmer of hope.
What they say, right? 5-2 is the most dangerous lead.
I've not heard that. But given that I'm a novice, now will you play nationals, Mr. Hagman?
I will. That's the plan. Tom and
That's the
Tom and
plan
myself are planning to play
Yep.
Louisville next weekend and then nationals at NC.
Okay, and where is nationals this year?
5 love.
Chicago.
Nationals
Short
is in
drive for us, which is
Chicago.
nice.
Yeah, that's perfect.
They always put on a good show.
And will Ludo be a participant?
I believe so.
Are they strong enough? 32 teams for national?
Yes. 64 teams.
Deuce. Deuce.
Okay.
64.
64.
If they come back and win this one, I think they're in.
Scott Yancey in the house. Live here on ENET. Ludo's got to get that lob a little bit deeper.
Yeah, they're not backing them off the net much
No.
on these overheads. They're defending well, but they're putting a lot of pressure on themselves with these short lobs. It's only
There you go.
Dave bails them out.
When are we going to see you crack a
Add out.
Mr. Hagman? It is 5 o'clock on that
True.
that clock. I think that clock says 5 o'clock for a reason.
It does.
It promotes. It promotes cocktail hour
Here, yeah.
any time of the day. There's a little deeper lob from Ludo. You got to make them backpedal a little bit.
That's good, Rob. John, is that the correct score? 5-1? No. So we're working at getting the score fixed here for you guys. Cooper back.
30-30.
Well,
We got 30 all here.
that's encouraging. Where are we at in the match? Do
It's
we know?
30 all here in the game. I'm trying to figure out the set score here. So, Mikey Marino behind me says it's 5-2. I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna hold you to that, Mike. Like I said, anything can happen here. 2-5 down, 30 all.
Last game I was watching when we lost our video feed, Ludo and Dave seem to be doing a much better job with their lobs. A lot deeper lobs, pushing them back.
30-40.
Well, we got a match point.
Looks like we have a match point.
We got our first match point of the game, of the match here.
Game.
There it is.
Well, that's unfortunate for the
Local
home
guys.
team, but really good match for Casas.
Thank you.
Vuk.
Sorry for my
And they're moving on.
first time ever. Sorry.
So,
Thank
Coop, what do you
you.
think from a recap?
Huh?
Expecting the final.
Yeah, no.
I think Casas Vuk really controlled most of the
Frozen in
points.
there? You stuck in
They seem to be at the
Frozen for
net.
sure.
The net the most, and I feel like Ludo and Dave needed their lobs a little deeper.
Yeah, it looked like they were playing a little bit more calculated, Luke and Cass, as far as had game plan and executed it. Lobbing, and then they had definitely were better on their hitting their spots on their overheads.
Thank you to all the sponsors.
As they're coming up on
They're
board right
coming
now.
up. We got Version Held and Bullet Frontier Whiskey. Some
that's you.
place called Cooper Enterprises.
that's-
Never
that's
heard
you-
of
that's
them. I
you.
think that's just a bullshit made-up company. E&A companies.
Can you mute
we're
that?
not on APTA, so we can throw in a few cuss words here. Just here on YouTube with the fine job from the folks at ENET.
Sorry,
And,
Coop, I'm trying to figure out who's going on the next on the show court here.
Yeah,
next.
another feature match. We need to get Ludo here to help do some commentary, and we'll.
Hey, Coop, we're gonna take a quick little break here.
Yeah,
and then we're gonna figure out who's going on, and then we'll be right back.
Yeah, a break is warranted.
Perfect.